Hi folks, hope you're all keeping well. I've finished a commission here of the Spanish Civil War for someone down the club as as I said, a commission. I have painted some of my own Spanish Civil War stuff, the Nationalist. Don't think I've shown those yet. These are then the Republicans, and you've got I think they're called the Assault Guard. They're sort of urban police force the Republicans, well, the government had at the beginning of the war, and they were used as almost like stormtroopers. Really nice colours on these. Just show one of these off. And yeah, quite nice. These are probably my favourite uniforms from the Republicans. Hold on, just get a little piece of paper there. Lighting is a bit dodgy today because it's so bright outside, I think. And having a big skylight is very nice, but I think it plays a bit with the camera. But oh well, can't complain. And yeah, if I pan out a bit there, then there's the rest of them. There's some quite nice figures in there. Mostly Paul Hicks Emperor sculpts. Really like this figure. With a sort of yellow corduroy jacket. Really happy with him. There's a lot of these figures that I'm really quite happy with, just like experimenting with maybe odd colours. They are meant to be the International Brigade, this lot. And then on the right, I think, are the like Republican militias. There's a few women fighters in there, which are quite nice. This is the International Brigade here. Tried a few colour tones, muted things, and as a little bonus, I painted up a Brigada Internationale flag for Chris, which I had on artist paper. Really happy with him. Someone to go into the fray, sort of waving out his flag. The standard bearer obviously was a sculpt, but there's no flag that I had, so I just made a little one, folded up a short piece of acrylic paper, which has got like a woven pattern to it. I think it's quite a high GSM paper, and that took paint really nicely. And I tried to freehand the the script on it. A little bit tricky, but you have to try these things. I actually remembered to charge up my camera today, which is a bit of a miracle. This sculptor's quite nice. He's pointing and he's got his rifle slung over his shoulder and a pistol. I can already tell the lighting isn't brilliant here. I'm not sure if I can remedy that, but I think there probably gets you the most natural light. This character is quite nice. I think he's artisan, maybe like a resistance fighter or something. Yeah, some of the ones that are not as good are the ones that are not Emperor, so I think this figure is... I don't think he's even artisan, I'm not sure where he's from. But there's a few of those in there. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, there's only a few. Most of them are the really nice Empress ones. I was happy with the sort of job on him as well. He's not wanting to focus, alrighty. Seems like they only want to focus on a white background. And then this guy is really simple, but thought he was quite nice as well. I think I went beige brown, or maybe, yeah, beige brown, straight to beige brown for the wood grain on the rifles. I tried to do it over German camo black brown. I think was really dark. The militia in the back are really quite nice. But yeah, that's about it. I think there's like 40-50 figures in there, quite a lot, maybe 40. A nice big commission. That's kept me tied over for a week or two, and they're gonna get sent off in the post tomorrow. I wasn't sure what to do with the basing, but Chris said he wanted some sort of arid earth, so I went with the same sort of Zulu, not Zulu, sorry, bases that I did for Zululand, which is like an arid earth, but with these I put some nice, tufts, grass tufts, arid grass. I think you could have quite comfortably used more sort of luscious grass for Spain, but I suppose in the summer things do dry out. So it's just a matter of taste, I think, but I'm quite happy with those. They're not in your face, sort of, yeah, I think it's thematic. It feels like the Spanish Civil War. I know it's a bit of a silly thing to say, but yeah, they look like a sort of gnarly Republican force, I think, which is kind of what I was going for. Yeah, happy with those. In terms of my own painting, I painted up some Italian skirmishers, which I put up on Facebook. I'll show those probably in a week or two, because I'd like to paint up a battalion of Italians now. For the Napoleonic period, then they can be allied to the French then. And to that end, I've also painted up some cuirassiers. The lighting on them is going to be all wrong because the lighting's behind them, but maybe that you can just get a look on them. Quite nice. I'll probably trim off the card bases there from their previous owner. I got a job lot of cavalry actually, cuirassiers, carbineers, lancers, and some, I think, hussars. I need to double check that they are hussars before painting them. They're either hussars with the pelisses sort of buttoned down, wearing it like a jacket, or they're chasseurs de cheval. I need to look at those very carefully before I paint them. I don't want to mess up on those. I actually like the cuirassiers with their swords shouldered, so I'm going to have these as the sort of front rank, if you will, of the cavalry brigade, of the heavies, and I'll have the carbineers as well, maybe they can be behind them, and then some cuirassiers right in the back with swords shouldered. But I'm seeing it inevitable that I'll have to buy the cuirassiers waiting at the edge of the battlefield. They're fantastic. I think their swords are sheathed and they're just resting. It's a really good look. Periscopes, those all metals. So I'll probably have to invest in those at some point. Just to give you a look of how I paint white usually, white horses. I think that's silver grey mixed with a little bit of white or ivory. That's just the first colour, first layer, and then I put a sepia shade wash on them, and then from that then I'll, layer up to the final white then. But again, I don't paint white, brilliant white, just a lot of ivory and sort of a little bit of yellow in there, I think. Not the yellow colour, the yellow tones, like that subtle amount which is in something like ivory over Vallejo's white, which I don't really use at all anymore. I used to use off-white, but I find that's still a bit too transparent and thin as well. So I find this is a good way of getting a nice white, it covers well, and it's not in your face. Napoleonic uniforms were extravagant, they were brilliant. I'm sure on parade there would have been brilliant colours, but I also like the campaign look as well, I think. So yeah, just nice subtle whites then, but obviously that needs to be done on those two at the back. There's only 10 of those, so I'm not sure if that's enough for a squadron. I think my other squadrons are possibly 14, I need to double check that. 10, I could always add 2 to this, and 12 I think is quite a nice number for the cavalry squadrons. Yet to settle on that. But that's it for now, folks. I'll probably be back with some Napoleonics now. Hope you're all keeping well this sort of odd time, and get enough time to paint. I hope all of you are catching up on the painting that you wanted to do. And yeah, all the very best. Ta-da.